Let me ask you something. How many times have you known exactly what you needed to do and you still didn't do it? You knew you needed to have that conversation. You knew you needed to start that business. You knew you needed to leave that situation. You knew you needed to get up earlier. You knew you needed to work harder. You knew you needed to change your circle. You knew. But you didn't move. And then weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. And now you're sitting here wondering, where did the time go? What's up? I'm your boy Ward, the atmosphere changer. And today, we need to talk about something that is silently destroying more lives than failure ever could. The decision not to act. Woo! Oh God, look at this ridiculous. My arm's itching. Now, if you've been following this channel, you know I teach something called the 5 elements of a successful life. Purpose, vision, attitude, discipline, and decision. And today, we're going deep on that 5th element, decision, because it's the one that activates everything else. You can have purpose, you can have vision, you can have the best attitude in the room, and discipline for days. But if you never decide to move, none of it matters. Decision is the ignition switch. But here's what most people don't realize. When you choose not to act, that is still a decision. You didn't avoid making a choice. You made the worst one available. You chose to stay stuck. And that's what we're unpacking today. I'm going to show you 3 things. Number 1, why people freeze and don't act. Number 2, why not deciding is actually the most dangerous decision you can make. And number 3, the real cost of inaction that nobody talks about. If you're a man in a season where you feel stuck, where you know you've been holding back, where something inside of you keeps saying, it's time, well then this video is for you. So stay with me. First, we're going to talk about fear as the root cause. Is that cool? Let's start with the why. Why don't we act? Because we already know what to do. Somebody just had to call me. We already know what to do. The information is not the problem. In 2026, you can Google anything. You can watch a video on anything. You can find a book on anything. Knowledge is everywhere. So if knowledge isn't the issue, what is? Ooh, fear. And I'm not talking about the kind of fear where a lion is chasing you. I'm talking about the quiet fear, the one that sits in the back of your mind and whisper things like, what if it doesn't work? What if people judge me? What if I'm not ready? What if I lose everything? That fear doesn't scream, it whispers. And that's why it's so dangerous, because you don't even realize it's controlling you. You think you're being logical. You think you're being patient. You think you're waiting for the right time. But there is no right time. There's just the time you decide to move. Let me give you an example from my own life. For over 20 years, I worked in the pest control industry. I was good at it. I was comfortable. But there was always something burning inside of me that said, you were made for more than this. You're supposed to be helping people. You're supposed to be coaching, teaching, leading. But you know what? You know what I did for a long time? I waited. I told myself I wasn't ready. I told myself the timing wasn't right. I told myself I needed more money, more preparation, more credentials. And you know what? All of that was fear wearing a suit and a tie. Fear dressed up as wisdom. Yeah, that was fear dressed up as wisdom. Fear pretending to be patience. And I see this in so many men, especially men between that age, I say 35 and 55. You've built something. You got responsibilities. You got a family, a mortgage, obligations. And because of all that, fear gets louder. Because now you don't just you don't just fear failure. You fear what failure will cost the people depending on you. You see my grandson back there who I'm responsible for him. But I need you to hear me. The fear of acting is real. But the cost of not acting is worse every single time. Because you don't act out of fear. You don't avoid risk. You guarantee regret. Let me say that again. When you don't act out of fear, you don't avoid risk. You guarantee regret. And regret is heavier than failure. Failure teaches you something. Regret just haunts you. Like the boogeyman. Ooh. Now here's the part I know most people don't want to hear. Not deciding is a decision. I know that hits different because in our mind, we separate choosing not to do something from just not doing it. Excuse me. We think if we don't actively say no, then we didn't really choose. We just didn't get around to it. That's a lie. And it's a comfortable one. Every day you wake up and don't work on your purpose, you choose comfort over calling. Every day you stay in that job that's draining the life out of you, you choose security over significance. Every day you avoid that hard conversation, you choose temporary peace over long-term freedom. Yeah. Nobody forced those outcomes on you. You chose them through an action. Now I know that sounds harsh, and I'm not saying it to condemn anybody. I'm saying it to wake you up. Because once you understand that not acting is itself a decision, you take back your power. See, when you think you're just stuck or waiting, you feel powerless, like life is happening to you. But when you realize that you're choosing, even if you're choosing to stay still now, you can choose differently. This is what the decision element in my framework is all about. Decision is not about always getting it right. It's about always being willing to move. It's about understanding that a wrong decision made with courage teaches you more than the right decision you never made. I forget who taught me that. Think about it. Think about it like this. A man standing at a crossroad who refuses to pick a path doesn't stay at the crossroad forever. The world moves on without him. Opportunities pass, seasons change, people move forward, and he's still standing there, telling himself he's being careful. That's not careful. That's captive. And some of you need to hear this. You have been held captive by your own indecision, not by your circumstances, not by your boss, not by your wife, not by your finances, by you, by your refusal to choose. But the good news is, the same power you use to stay still is the same power you can use to move forward. You just have to redirect it. That's it. You just have to redirect it. Now I'm going to tell you. So now let's talk about what inaction actually costs you. Because this is the part nobody adds up. I know I didn't. When we think about risk, we always think about the risk of doing something. What if I start this business and it fails? What if I invest my money and lose it? What if I have the conversation and it goes badly? But we almost never calculate the risk of doing nothing. And that risk is massive. Let me break it down. Number one, inaction costs you time. And time is the one resource you cannot get back. You can lose money and make more. You can lose a relationship, build another one. But time, once it's gone, baby, it's gone. Every day you spend not pursuing what God put in your heart, that's a day you cannot recover. And those days add up. Trust me, I spent years knowing I was supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now. Years. And I can't get those years back. I can only move forward. But I would give anything to have started sooner. Anything. Let me guess. If you're watching this, you're probably 35, 40, 45, 50 years old. And you've been sitting on a dream, a calling, a purpose. The clock is not waiting for you to feel ready. Number two, inaction costs you momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in success. When you're moving, things start happening. Doors open. People show up. Ideals flow. Confidence builds. But momentum only works when you're in motion. And every time you hesitate, every time you pull back, every time you choose to wait, you kill your own momentum. I know I did it. Then when you finally do decide to move, you got to start from zero, from a dead stop. And that is 10 times harder than just keep going. Right? All right, number three. Inaction costs you identity. This one is deep because when you consistently don't follow through on what you say, when you don't follow through what you say you're going to do, you stop believing in yourself. Your self-trust erodes. Make goals and abandon them. And over time, you start to see yourself as someone who doesn't finish, someone who doesn't follow through, someone who talks about it but never does it. That's not who you are. It's who you've become through the habit of not acting. And this just doesn't affect you. It affects your family. It affects your children who are watching you. It affects your wife who believed in the vision you shared with her. It affects the people God assigned to you, assigned to your life. Yeah, the people God assigned to your life who need what you're supposed to bring to the table. Your inaction is not a private matter. It has a cost that other people pay. Did you hear that? It has a cost that other people pay. So, what do we do? How do we break the cycle? Here's what I want you to take from today. 1, name the fear. Stop pretending you're being strategic when you're actually being scared. Be honest with yourself. What are you afraid of? Say it out loud. Write it down. Because fear loses power when you expose it. 2, accept that inaction is a decision. Stop giving yourself a pass. If you're not moving, you're not choosing. You're not choosing. You're not choosing to move on that and any other choice. 3, count the cost of staying still before you talk yourself out of taking action. Add up what's doing nothing has already cost you. The momentum, the self-trust, the missed opportunities. When you see that number 1, I promise you, the risk of acting won't look so scary anymore because that number will be big. And 4, make one move today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next month. Today it doesn't have to be the whole plan. It just has to be a step. One phone call, one application, one conversation, one page, one prayer, whatever it is, start. Because that's how decision works. You don't decide once you're done. You decide daily and decide in the moment. And every small decision to act builds the muscle that makes the big decision possible. Like that? I like it. So I'm going to leave you with this. I can't remember where I read it. The graveyard is full of books that were never written, businesses that were never started, the words that were never spoken, not because the people who carried those things weren't talented enough, not because they didn't have what it takes, but because they made the decision not to act. Don't let that be your story. You were made for more. You were designed with purpose. And the only thing standing between, the only thing standing between where you are and where you're supposed to be is the decision to move. So make it. I'm Ward, the atmosphere changer. And if this video spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Tell me one thing you've been putting off that you're going to take action on today. Because the moment you say it out loud, that's the moment it becomes real. I'll see you on the next video.